Good morning, everyone. Please be seated. Honored graduates of the class of 2015, family members and friends, members of the Washington and Lee University Board of Trustees, and members of the faculty and staff, welcome to Washington and Lee University's 2015 commencement ceremony, outside, under sunny skies, and on the campus of Washington and Lee University. Our commencement ceremony at Washington and Lee is different from other places. We see it as a time for celebration and reflection, and not as our last shot to teach you life's lessons and suddenly spring upon you the revelation that the world is a treacherous place and now you must go forth and cope. Geopolitical strife, poverty, injustice, terrorism, global climate change, human rights, cybersecurity, and presidential primaries await you in just a few hours. So good luck. Actually, those truly are important matters, but we believe you know that. Our faculty has strived mightily to make those points, and if we have not gotten through these last 4 years, it's too late now. So let's enjoy the day with family and friends and celebrate your accomplishments and the incredible potential you carry in the years ahead. At Washington and Lee, we think of commencement as neither a beginning nor an end. It is simply one day we allow ourselves the luxury to stop and pause and understand the longer journey. Just a brief word to the parents. Not too long ago at another college far, far from here, I sat where you are sitting today, trying desperately to listen to the college president as he made his way through the commencement ritual. But it was impossible, as Kim and I, ourselves parents of a graduate, surrendered to the memories of the kindergarten drop-off, the first report card, the 6th grade recital, the 8th grade moving up ceremony, the first and last high school lacrosse games, his first girlfriend, who wasn't the last, the broken bones, first-year orientation, the internships, the friends my son made, the achievements and the setbacks, all went by in a blur. As parents, we understand this milestone. 4 years ago, when I welcomed you to the Washington and Lee community here in Lee Chapel, I boldly predicted that the 4 years would go quickly, that there would be a few bumps along the way, and that no matter how mature and smart your sons and daughters seemed at the time, they would amaze you at the time of graduation. You were proud then, and probably a little anxious as well. You are even prouder today, but in truth, still a little anxious. Anxiety is one of the things that parents do best. But on this special day in the lives of your families, on this day of all days, sincere and genuine pride transcends all other emotions. And I thank you once again for entrusting us with the most cherished part of your lives. And now a word to the graduates. Think back to that late afternoon in September 2011, when you and your classmates gathered in a warm, sultry Warner Center for the fall convocation at the end of orientation. See if you remember. At the time, you had no way of knowing that you were hearing from one of the university's giants, and this would be her last public speech. Pamela Simpson was a professor of art history, an expert on the architecture of Washington and Lee, and one of the most influential figures in the university's recent history. Professor Simpson's plan had been to have you turn around in your seats and look at the colonnade as she talked about it. But because of the weather, instead of being here on the front lawn, we were forced into the Warner Center where she could only show you slides. What you didn't realize at the time is that Professor Simpson's very presence that day was a measure of her considerable courage. She was in the late stages of cancer, and she passed away 22 days after giving that talk. I want to recall a part of that talk because it is all about the sense of this place, soon to be your alma mater. She said on that day, "One lesson I think we can learn is that what we value so much about Washington and Lee's campus came about over a period of several hundred years. Each generation built on the past. What resulted was not only a collection of historic, distinguished buildings, which we are working hard to restore. We ended up with a symbol. This is who we are. When you think of our most deeply held values, academic excellence, collegiality, civility, and most of all, honor, all of these are embodied here. You stand on the shoulders of giants as well as of ordinary people as you begin the academic year," she went on to say. "You should think about your role in continuing and contributing to that legacy. What will you do in these sacred spaces? How will you continue to shape their meaning?" If she were here today, she would say, "You have done well. I look at your accomplishments in the classroom, on the playing fields, on the track, in the pool, and on the courts, the generosity you have shown in the community, your projects across the world, your writings, your performances, your everyday interactions with each other, the friends you made, the recognitions you have brought to yourselves, and the honor you have brought to your alma mater. We are proud of you and grateful beyond words that we have been a part of this most precious time of your lives." It is now time to point out a few special recognitions. All of the members of the faculty and staff contribute significantly to the education of our students, but it is customary at this time to single out for special thanks the faculty and staff who will retire at the end of this academic year. Each has served the university and all of our students with distinction. I will ask each of the retirees to rise when I call his or her name, position, and then to remain standing until all are recognized. And please hold your applause until all the names have been announced, and I will call them in alphabetical order. Buddy Atkins, Director of Donor Relations. Francis Brown, Baker's Assistants in Dining. William F. Clark, Grounds Worker in Facilities Management. Bobby Culpepper, Professor of Business Administration. Flash Floyd, Assistant Director in Classroom Technology. Carolyn Goolsby, Office Manager in Development. Peter Grover, Director of University Collections. Colleen Hartless, Custodian in Facilities Management. Ray Hostetter, Carpenter in Facilities Management. Bill King, Professor of Accounting. Beverly Lorick, Career Development. Craig McCoffrin, Professor of Politics. Emily Nicely, Administrative Assistant, Athletics. Brian Richardson, Professor of Journalism. Cree Sherrill, Executive Assistant in the Williams School. Ken Ujier in East Asian Languages. Charles Updike, Grounds Worker in Athletics. And Lynn Wheeler, Professor of Accounting. Please join me in thanking them for their service to this university. Of all the people who have contributed to your careers at Washington and Lee, the faculty stand out among the very, very best. I would ask the faculty to please stand for a moment so that we may thank them for their contributions to your time at Washington and Lee. And I now call your attention to the printed program. There you will find recorded a list of students who have won special honors and awards, and I commend to you a careful reading of this part of the program. Those honors and awards represent dozens of stories of individuals who excelled in many special ways. This is also a time when we customarily recognize the class valedictorian. That's a little complicated this year. 3 have finished in a dead heat with perfect 4.0 GPAs. I will recognize each of them, ask them to stand, and please hold your applause until I get all 3 of them introduced. Christopher Hugh is a biochemistry major and education minor from Ridgewood, New Jersey. He is a Johnson Scholar, active on the tennis team and in religious life on campus. He will be teaching chemistry at Rockbridge County High School this coming year. Today is only the second most important day of the week for him and Josie Tarantini, yesterday's recipient of the Sullivan Award. They are to be married Saturday in Lee Chapel. Eric Schwen is a physics major from Cottage Grove, Minnesota. He is a Johnson Scholar and a member of Lambda Chi Alpha and ODK. He has presented his physics research at international conferences, and we will be attending Cornell University as a physics PhD student. Scott Sugden is an English and biology major from Circle Pines, Minnesota. He is also a Johnson Scholar and has been active in university music ensembles. After spending the summer teaching at wilderness skill camps in northern Minnesota, he will be teaching ecology and environmental literature at the High Mountain Institute in Colorado. Please congratulate these three outstanding students. As you know, Washington Lee does not have a conventional commencement speaker. Instead, you get to hear from two presidents, neither of whom is the president, but we will do our best. First, the student body president, Lucy Wade Shapiro, will offer a few remarks, and then I will follow. That tradition, just so you know, began as a result of a fiasco many, many years ago when an elderly speaker addressing the graduates on a hot and humid day, even worse than today, approached the podium with a stack of index cards and proceeded to read through them, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Some 90 minutes later, or maybe it just seemed like 90 minutes, the board, in its wisdom, decided never again. I used to think it was a great idea when I was a member of the faculty until I actually became president and had to write something. But first you will hear from Lucy Wade. She is from Memphis and studied American history these last few years. Her immediate plans are to sleep for the entire month of June and then undertake a 1-year clinical fellowship at the Church Health Center, a nationally recognized medical clinic in Memphis that provides health care for the working uninsured. Over the years, WNL has been blessed with exceptional student leaders, all of them different, but all of them wise and of sound judgment. Lucy Wade has been one of the best. You know about some of the issues she has dealt with and some of the challenges she faced on the executive committee. You don't know about many others that by their confidential nature you can never know about. Always she managed it with grace and humor. We will miss her. Lucy Wade.
Thank you, President Ruscio, for those kind words, and good morning to all of you. It is an honor to be speaking to you today, and I feel humbled to do so. Washington and Lee has meant so much to us these past 4 years, so to reflect on our experience in these brief remarks is an emotional and difficult task. I'm sure many of you have been asked what college has meant to you and how you are feeling today. You've been asked to summarize 4 years that have flown by in just one sentence. If Charles Dickens were in our graduating class, he would most likely answer with his beginning lines from his Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us. While I don't want to insult Dickens, I believe I could express my thoughts more clearly and more concisely. When asked what Washington and Lee has meant to me, I simply say, it has meant everything. In a few moments, you will be walking across this stage and receiving your diploma. As you do so, I would ask that you do 3 things. First, look to the faculty members who have helped get you here today. Think about the many lessons you have learned from them. I'm sure that is much more than quantum mechanics or the dates of the French Revolution. You have been empowered and challenged in ways that go beyond those that impact your GPA. Next, I would ask that you look to your family, your parents, siblings, grandparents, aunts, and uncles. Think about when you said goodbye to your parents in this chapel behind me before your pre-orientation trip, not having a clue what you're about to get yourself into. Think about the many sacrifices that they have made for you since move-in day, not only to make it here to Lexington today in the middle of a week, but more importantly, to get you here on this stage. Their continued love and support has led to your success. It is probably a tie between you and your parents for who is happier today. You because you're graduating, and your parents for not having to send another tuition check. However, they did so lovingly, knowing that Washington and Lee would prepare you for a bright future. And before you step off the stage, I would ask that you lastly look to your classmates. Think about the memories you have shared with them, beginning all the way back to orientation week. Think about the first people you sat in D Hall with, and the first people you rode Traveler with. Think about your friends' daily love and support that has molded you into the person you are today. But don't take too long to walk across the stage because everyone wants to get out of this heat. As I stand here looking back at the red bricks and white columns, I'm reminded of something an alumna told me last month. She said that even though the heart of Washington and Lee is in Lexington, its presence extends beyond these bricks and columns. We are joining a network of alumni who proudly wear their George and Bob attire and cheer for their fellow generals. But before we join this network, I would like to focus on our class. The class of 2015 will be remembered as being a united one. We have seen many successes together, we've experienced many changes together, and we have faced many challenges together. Not many college graduates can honestly say that they passed their first test together. At Washington and Lee, we can. Each of us began our careers as students by taking a test that required not only proper form, but also proper clothing, the swim test. I consider this to be both a challenge and a success. Freshman year, we survived the fire on the hallway in Graham Lee's with the Tangle decorations. We remember our junior year, the year of sheets, and this past year, the year of cookout. We have witnessed the town of Lexington enter into quite the nightlife scene with Haywood's Piano Bar, Roca's Rooftop, and Tong's Karaoke Bar. We have danced at 4 fancy dresses, a mock convention gala, and probably one too many fraternities. In the midst of all the stresses that come with being a W&L student, we still supported one another. We've been blessed with a community that feels when one member is hurting, and unfortunately, we have come to see this a couple of times during our careers here. We have found ourselves standing outside this chapel in silence together. Those are days and nights we will never forget, but we have been made stronger, not through time, but through our love for one another. My grandfather always tells me, everyone needs somebody they can count on. As you leave today, I hope you feel blessed knowing that that number of people has dramatically increased these last 4 years. You've made friendships that will last a lifetime. You've made bonds that can never be explained, except for the fact that you both graduated from Washington and Lee. There is something indescribable about attending this institution that only fellow members of our community can understand. White columns, red bricks, and sunrise sandwiches just don't signify much to others like it does to us. After you take pictures with your family and friends today, and before you leave Lexington, make sure to walk the colonnade. Remember that calculus class you took freshman year, wondering if you were ever going to make it through. Remember how you thought you would major in biology and ended up majoring in history. Remember that feeling when you turned in your last paper at W&L. As you go off to Stanford Law School, teach for America in Charlotte, working on Wall Street or for Facebook in Austin, teaching English abroad, pursuing your acting career in New York, or just back home, remember what ideals and values this place has instilled in you. Remember what a community of trust and integrity fosters. No matter where you go, that community will be with you. I know it seems like a daunting task. You attend school for 4 years, receive a piece of paper that costs over $200,000, and then you're expected to be a real adult. But it must work because we are joining the ranks of thousands of distinguished alumni. When we entered Washington and Lee, everyone had a full resume with many awards and honors. Here, we have continued to be leaders in our academic, athletic, and social endeavors, where we have pursued our passions and interests. We are about to venture into a world full of many other leaders. While it might seem like we are expected to know everything and have a plan for every detail, we are not. President John F. Kennedy once said, "Leadership and learning are indispensable to one another." Our learning does not end here with our diplomas. It is okay if you're still figuring out what you want to do or who you want to be. It is also okay if you know exactly what you want to do and exactly who you are. Regardless of your path, know that you will continue to grow in ways that you might not have predicted. In her New York Times bestseller, Return to Love, Marianne Williamson says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We are all meant to shine as children do, and as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As you leave the comforts of this place, know that you are not inadequate. Know that you are powerful beyond measure. Be confident in your abilities, as well as humbled in the company of such outstanding individuals. And always remember that this community that surrounds you today has shaped you into the person you are and will continue to mold you in the years to come." Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy Wade, for those words and for all that you have done for this university these last few years. And thank you in advance for all you'll be doing in the years to come. There's the old joke about how many Washington and Lee alumni it takes to change a light bulb. 5. 1 to actually change the bulb, and 4 to talk about how great the old bulb was. I want to talk to you this morning about constancy and change, about our commitment to and even reverence for the past, even as we are, as we all know, not unmindful of the future. Washington and Lee does have a storied past. We stand on the shoulders of those who sacrificed on our behalf. We look upon the accumulated wisdom of the ages as a gift. We mostly avoid the conceit of thinking we are somehow wiser, smarter, or more enlightened than those who preceded us. We preserve what matters in our history, and we learn from it. But we are a university, not a museum. And while the past shapes us, it doesn't dictate our future. That is up to us, and it is up to each one of you. Imagine Washington and Lee as a river. A river has a source, its headwaters, typically in a remote mountain spring somewhere. That defines not just the natural history of the river, but also its character and the way we think about it. To understand a river, you have to know where it came from. But a river always flows forward, away from its source. It never reverses itself. Sometimes the river's waters are placid and calm, the current barely perceptible. Sometimes they are treacherous, flowing violently over rocks and rapids. And sometimes the river floods its banks. Sometimes it is diminished by drought. A river, like a university, moves along in its own varied rhythms, changing through different stages, linked forever to where it began, even as it heads towards a different destination. One of Washington and Lee's legends is Frank J. Gillum. He graduated in 1917, having served as secretary of the Student Body Executive Committee. He went to graduate school, then returned to his alma mater in 1931. That began a 32-year career in service to Washington and Lee as Dean of Students and Dean of Admissions. He was known for many virtues, including his compassion for students, especially those who had fallen on hard economic times and were in danger of having to withdraw. The stories are legion of Dean Gillum's uncanny ability to discover some previously unknown scholarship on the spot, thereby permitting a student to continue his studies. With the creation of our Johnson Scholars Program and our greatly expanded financial aid program, we have come a long way from Dean Gillum, but perhaps we are simply drawing from the source. Dean Gillum comes to mind this morning for what he had to say about constancy and change. In 1971, soon after he retired and 58 years after he arrived as a freshman, Dean Gillum was asked what he would say to all the university's alumni if he could gather them together at one time and in one place. And here's what he said. Many of you think you are paying the university a tremendous compliment when you say you don't want one thing changed from the way it was when you were here. But if you had that institution unchanged, most of you would be ashamed of it. I'm optimistic about Washington and Lee, and I glory in what it is now, as I gloried in it when I first came here. Patricia Lopez Harris graduated in 1991. She came here in 1987 as a first-generation college student from Hawaii. Her first ever glimpse of Lexington and Washington and Lee was the day she arrived for orientation. She ran cross country and was editor of the Ringtum Phi. She was a dorm counselor, or what we know as an RA. She was a Rhodes Scholar. When Pat was a sophomore, I was one of her professors and also dean of freshmen. We were talking one day, and she told me that earlier she had been out in the morning for her quiet, solitary sunrise run through campus. As she crossed the front lawn, right about where I am standing now, she stopped in her tracks, listened to the siren in the background. She stopped in her tracks, gazed upon the colonnade, standing majestically and even mystically in the morning mist. She said, "I can't believe I'm so fortunate to be here at this place, at this point in my life." And after a few reflective moments, she went on the rest of her run. I suspect most of us have had a moment like that. We will wait for that. Is that fire on the first floor of Graham Lee's again? I suspect most of us have had a reflective moment like that. Several years ago, I described them this way. For each of us, there was a moment in time when everything came together, when we took our measure of the university and found it good. Academic endeavors perfectly complemented our social ones. The faculty blended teaching and scholarship in perfect proportions. The correct percentage of students belonged to Greek organizations. Athletics received exactly the proper emphasis. Deans were seldom seen and never heard. The Blue Ridge Mountains, in that moment of geological time, were precisely the right shape and hue. The trees on the front campus had just the right height and fullness to frame the colonnade's exquisite architectural features. There is an illogical proposition that defines Washington and Lee. For each of us, there was indeed that moment when it all came together. Not that it was truly perfect, but strangely perfect even in its imperfections. And we realized too, again in defiance of logic, that whatever perfection it held, the university gets better with each passing day, each passing year, and each passing generation. Walt Kingsbury was a member of the class of 1948. Growing up in suburban New Jersey in the shadow of New York City, I came to know him as the man who lived down the street and as the father of one of my best friends. Until my senior year in high school, I didn't know that he had attended Washington and Lee. Truthfully, until my senior year in high school, I'm not sure I knew there was a place called Washington and Lee. But when he heard that I'd become interested in applying, he did what any self-respecting W&L alumnus does. The sales pitch was both aggressive and irresistible. And for me, Mr. Kingsbury became the personification of W&L. He was easily respected and easily admired, and I wanted to be like him. So what better way to do that than attend college where he did? We kept in touch over the years, which was easy to do because his son, my friend, also came here and we were classmates. And also because his two other sons came here around that time, and then 3 of his grandchildren. Mr. Kingsbury returned to campus in 1998 for his 50th reunion. In many ways, the university he knew as a student no longer existed. The football team had played in its last national bowl game, the Gator Bowl against Wyoming in 1951, and then in the wake of a cheating scandal, abandoned scholarship sports shortly thereafter. The dreadfully named Assimilation Committee, which fined you for violating the speaking tradition or not wearing your beanies, had gone by the wayside. The dress code, Lee Chapel attire every day and in every place was long gone, along with Saturday morning classes. His fraternity was gone. The student body was integrated in the 1960s. In the 1980s, we became coeducational. Half the students were now women. The law school had vanished to someplace across the ravine. There was a performing arts center, a new library, and, well, you get the picture. The river had been rolling along inexorably. With all these changes, some small and some large, freshly in his mind, here are Mr. Kingsbury's words about his arrival in Lexington as a young student, and then what he saw that day on his reunion more than 54 years later. Worldly as I thought I was, I carried with me a picture of the parents who had enabled me to begin this wonderful adventure of life at Washington and Lee University. As the train rolled towards Lexington, I thought a great deal about them and how they had given me a lot of love and at the same time a lot of responsibility. I was confident I could live up to the faith they had placed in me as I began to live alone in the world. I loved the trip, which took the entire night. The train let me and my luggage off the next morning at the Lynchburg Railroad Station, which also was the terminal for buses going to Lexington. I think I had to wait a few hours for the bus, but it was interesting to see in the distance the mountains of Western Virginia. We climbed aboard the bus and made the hour-and-a-half trip through the Blue Ridge Mountains into the valley in which Lexington was nestled. At McCrumb's drugstore on Lexington's Main Street, we climbed down from the bus, and older upperclassmen were there to help us get our luggage to the dormitory. I will never forget the first sight of the red buildings and white columns perched on a ridge overlooking the town streets. In May 1998, I returned to Lexington for my 50th class reunion. Those red and white buildings still stand as firm, silent, and impressive as ever. Old George, the statue of George Washington, tall and silent, gazing over the campus and the town, was then, and even now, a bit awesome. But the buildings in George offered a strong and warm welcome to a world of learning, friendship, and integrity. To our graduates, I know how you feel today here in the shadow of Lee Chapel against the backdrop of the historic colonnade with old George looking over your shoulder. Or I know how you should feel, or how I want you to feel. With your departure today, Washington and Lee will begin its inexorable decline away from perfection. When the final history of this university is written, it will surely be recorded that it reached its peak on May 28th, 2015. My successors will hear from you regularly in the years to come, wondering what in the world is going on at your university. You should feel protective of this place that has shaped your lives. However, as your life goes on, as you assume the duties of citizenship in this democracy, as you contribute to your communities and your professions, I wish for you the quality of discernment, the ability to distinguish between what is important and what is not, to distinguish between what is real and what is artifice. Judging wisely and carefully has always been in short supply. With the steep decline in public discourse these days, it seems on the verge of extinction. Celebrity is not leadership. The volume of an argument is not a measure of its quality. Repeating a false statement over and over again does not eventually make it true. Sticking with an opinion in the face of contradictory evidence is not principled conviction, but is instead intellectual laziness. Cultivate that quality of discernment in every corner of your lives, including your vigilant stewardship of your alma mater. In May of 2065, when you return for your 50th reunion, you will notice some changes. If Washington and Lee is not a different place and a better place, you should be ashamed of it. And if you have not played a role in advancing it, you should be ashamed of yourselves. But what truly matters here are the intangible attributes, our virtues of honor and integrity, of respect for each other despite our differences, our civility, or as Mr. Kingsbury put it so well, learning, friendship, and integrity. That is the character, the essence, the unwavering nature of this place, nourished by its source. Pay attention to the character, not the artifice, not the surface. Some of the light bulbs will be changed, but old George will still be watching over our front campus. We share an intergenerational contract here at Washington and Lee, and it goes like this. It is perfectly fine for those of us here today to benefit from the sacrifice of those who came before us, provided we sacrifice equally for those still to come. Our inheritance from the past becomes our obligation to the future. No other university has a past like ours. No other university has a future like ours. To move forward, to advance, to improve, to change is not a rejection of the past. It is, here at W&L, the way we honor the past. Thank you for sharing the most important 4 years of your life with us. As for your own future, I wish for you what Mr. Kingsbury and so many others before you have found, a lifetime of learning, friendship, and integrity. Thank you. We come now to the point in our program where we customarily recognize outstanding individuals whose lives we hold up to you as examples of how you should live yours, whose records of achievement and personal character exemplify this institution's highest ideals. Today, we bestow an honorary doctorate of letters on Dr. James Cobb. Will the university registrar escort Dr. James Cobb to the front of the podium? And I now recognize Provost Daniel Wuba, who will read the honorary degree citation.
James C. Cobb, teacher, historian, scholar, and author. You have been dubbed, quote, the most southern man in America, end quote, based on your prolific, insightful writing about the relationships among the economy, the history, and the culture of your native region. Born in rural Hart County, Georgia, and educated in the public schools there, you earned your degrees from the University of Georgia. After teaching at the universities of Tennessee and Mississippi, you came home to your alma mater, where you hold the P. Finney Spalding Professorship in History and have gained acclaim for your courses in Southern culture and history over the past 37 years. In a dozen books and more than 40 articles, you have examined the impact of changing economic conditions in the South and are the first historian to explore the South in the global context. Two of your books are Way Down South, A History of Southern Identity, and Most Southern Place on Earth, The Mississippi Delta and the Roots of Regional Identity, are considered classics in the field. Your work has won numerous prizes and awards for what one of your colleagues described as your, quotes, tightly crafted prose and unwillingness to overlook fools and ideal palaver, end quotes. A former president of the Southern Historical Association, you have made history accessible through your exploration of important topics, in essays and opinion pieces published in the popular media, from the Wall Street Journal to the New Republic to the New York Times. In addition, your personal blog, Kobloviate, has featured wry, witty, and always thought-provoking commentaries by the old bloviator on matters past and present, proving the truth of one critic's observation, quote, "If you want to know what makes the South thick, you might well look to James C. Cobb for insight," end quote. You honored Washington and Lee with your presence at our 215 Founders Day convocation, delivering a deftly crafted address that challenged us to understand the unique responsibility that this university has to, in your words, quote, "nurture an environment where, although the power of the past cannot be disputed, its meanings and implications most definitely can and frankly should be," end quote. James C. Cobb, one of the foremost scholars of Southern history, a teacher who has had a profound impact on generations of students, and a writer who has interpreted the South for academic and lay audiences alike. It is our honor to bestow on you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you, Dr. James Cobb, the degree of Doctor of Letters of Washington and Lee University, honoris causa. Okay, here we go. I now recognize Robert D. Strawn, Associate Dean of the Williams School of Commerce, Economics, and Politics. He will present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science with special attainments in commerce.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Commerce please rise? President Ruscio, I have the honor to present for the Bachelor of Science with special attainments in Commerce 148 candidates. They have been examined by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees. I ask you by your official act to confer upon them this degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Washington and Lee University, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science with special attainments in Commerce of Washington and Lee University. Congratulations. Please come forward to receive your diplomas.
Michael Jeremiah Agrippina. Eduardo Pedro Aguirre Alondres, cum laude. Luke Elliott Allen. Carl Reed Andren, cum laude. Morgan Stinson Ballingy. Daniel Franklin Barley, cum laude. Mirna Barrera Torres. Braden Tomlinson Bates, cum laude. Warren Edwin Baroness. Cody David Bills. Nicholas Anthony Bumy, cum laude. Shelburne Tate Bloomer, in absentia. Rebecca Marie Boringer. Elizabeth Dodge Baldrick, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Preston Collins Brown. Christopher Talbot Buckingham. Megan Elizabeth Buell. Joseph Clyde Campbell III. Samuel Henniger Campbell V. William Turner Chadwick, cum laude. Win Xiang Chua. Joseph Raymond Siborowski. Robert Rager Claxton. Patrick Joseph Clausen. Victoria Christina Coates. Mary Carson Kaufman. Alexander Iverson Cram. Andrew Hughes Crum. Cameron Robert DeBeer, cum laude. Toby Mark DeAmbola. Taylor Ann DeVoe. Trong Thi Thu Do, magna cum laude. Donald Michael Donnellan III. Elena Nicole DeRogi, honors in accounting. Connor Patrick Duffy. John Daniel Durham, cum laude. Brian Carney Edmonds. Austin James Eisenhofer. Merlin Emery Ellinger IV. Owen Matthews Elliott. Maura Hartwell Emery. Kyle Peter Engel. Sarah Gray Erickson. Bailey Elizabeth Ewing, cum laude. Catherine Rose Fieser. Colin Glenday Frazier, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Paige Stewart Gay. Vincent Michael Gennaro, cum laude. Tyler Ian Goldman. Trevor Wanfer Gordon. Scott Nickel Gould, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Reed Lair Grable. Patrick John Greenwood. Chance Molly Grossman. Sarah Elizabeth Hampton, magna cum laude. Ethan Paul Harrell. Matthew Kellogg Hedberg. Corinne Sharon Himmersbach, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Paige Meyer Hogan, magna cum laude. Nathan Edward Hooper. Samuel Andrew Hoskins. Matthew Thomas Howell, cum laude. Brandon Andrew Howes, in absentia. Andrew Carter Jager. Christine Dehai Jung. Sakina M. Kapasi. Robert Brooks Kelly. Peter Christopher Kelly. Christian Charles Kennedy. Louis Joshua Kesselbrenner. Colton Tyler Klein, magna cum laude. Alexander Bates Kyle. Ho Yi Cynthia Lam, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Cameron Arthur Lewis. Catherine Stone Lauderman, honors in English, magna cum laude. William Stewart Lotz. Casey Abels McIntosh, cum laude. Joseph Charles Manzinger III. Candace Brianna Maynard. Caitlin Sarah McCartan. Sam Shipman McLean. Javon Javier McDonald Jr. Charles Hanson McKee. Michael Paul McCown. William Leslie McClendon, cum laude. Kelly Grace McManus. Ryan Conahan McNally. Thomas Cooney McThenia III, cum laude. Sonia Erica Meehan. Lane Richardson Merlot, cum laude. Austin Porter Miller. Jihan Sarah Min. Chandler Christine Moody. Thomas Christopher Moore, Jr. Richard Peter Moran III. Sarah Catherine Morgan. Brian Frank Morrison. Kara Haley Mulligan. Charles Christman Myers. Garland Elizabeth Neal, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Richard Oakley Nelson, Jr., cum laude. Caroline Hall Nixon, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Caroline Marie Northrop. Patrick Murray O'Connor. Alexander Jerome Organ, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Gianmarino Elio Orlandi. Connor Patrick O'Toole. Alexander Davidson Owen. Garrett Joseph Paglia. William Carson Park. Yates Doyle Parrish. Latham Conrad Peake II. Marielle Samantha Pearl. Joseph Brian Pacellis. Brennan Kennedy Peck. Eric James Pelnick. Carolyn Isabel Petrie. Osgood Campbell Philpott. Mary Catherine Price. Samuel Edward Raphael. Daniel James Rabolt, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. William Eduardo Tinsley Rawle. Andrew William Redman, cum laude. Timothy James Redmond, cum laude. Lindsay Walker Reese. Paul David Rayleigh, Jr. Kelsey K. Richardson. David William Robinson. Matthew Ryan Rutley. William Hayes Sayre. Emily Rose Scott. Samuel Benjamin Scott. Hyon Christina Sun. Taylor William Shimshiri. Andrew Thomas Schott. Samantha Ann Sisler. James William Austin Smith. Matthew David Smith. Brendan Cole Strauss. Samantha Ann Swatsky. James Curtis Telfer, cum laude. Morgan Elizabeth Thompson. William Taylor Tucker Thompson, cum laude. Daniel Paul Todd. Joseph Michael Ulica. Julia Chandler Van Sant, cum laude. Anne-Marie Patricia Wakely. William Baines Welch. Andrew Reed Waprinsky, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Wheelahan. Nicholas Paul Zaharchuk, cum laude. Congratulations.
My congratulations. Please be seated. I now recognize Larry Peppers, Dean of the Williams School, who will present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Thank you, President Ruscio. It's been an honor and a privilege. Will the candidates from the Williams School of Commerce, Economics, and Politics for the degree of Bachelor of Arts please rise? President Ruscio, I have the honor to present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts 72 candidates. They've been examined by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees. I ask you by your official act to confer upon them this degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Washington and Lee University and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts of Washington and Lee University. Congratulations. Please come forward to receive your diplomas.
Lauren Rebecca Abraham, cum laude. Edward Turner Allison. Natsumi Daniela Alvarez. Philip Thomas Anderson, cum laude. Benjamin Clay Atnip. Alando Jonathan Ballantyne. Anna Catherine Barnes. Bretson James Bauer, cum laude. Anne Holly Beasley, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Thomas Joseph Bednar. Nicholas Peter Bell. Mary Elizabeth Benjamin. Anne Margaret Benazzi. Lindsay Sinclair Burke. Emma Louise Bussey, cum laude. Alexandra Elizabeth Butler, honors in economics, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. William Anthony Kaplan. John Cerritos. Elizabeth Lee Christian, honors in philosophy. Swang Cha. Zachariah H. Colby. Griffin F. Cook. Curtis J. Carell, Jr. Catherine Preston Corey. Robert John DeLuca. Elizabeth Catherine DePlot. Olivia Carolyn Dickey. Daniel Joseph Duggan. Shelby Lauren Flores. Jennifer Scott Freiberg. Mary Lynn Gabe, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Julia Brewster Gady. Ellen Catherine Gleason. David Porter Grieve. Wilson McGee Hallett, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Julia Gray Harbaugh. Summer Nicole Ireland. Heju Jang, cum laude. Julian Nicole Caterhagen, magna cum laude. Charlotte Catherine Kiesler, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Sarah Catherine King. Catherine Ann Kleindings. Brian Lofton Lawler. Margaret McDaniel Lear. Catherine Helen Lemasters. Honors in Economics, Honors in Politics, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Oliver Nicholas Liu. Madeline Elizabeth McGuire. Michael James McCarty. Clarence Devon McLean II. Bayan Misagi, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Daniel Lewis Mullen. Daniel William Mooney. Matthew Barber Moore. Lauren Elizabeth Mosley. Morgan Bailey Moscow. Daphne Alinatwa Magayo. Nashna Naidu. Louisa Marie Ortiz, cum laude. Joshua Jerome Paldino, cum laude. Nicholas Clarkson Peacher. Austin Joseph Pierce, Honors in Philosophy, Phi Beta Kappa, cum laude. Catherine Davis Salm. Mark William Sanders. Sarah Elizabeth Scafidi. Samantha Giuliano Smith. Blake William Spencer. Catherine Clark Strickland, magna cum laude. David Joseph Thomas. Norman Blair Tynes, Jr. Kathy Schwen Wang, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Ellen Anna Winsek, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Kiefer Aaron Wynn. Andrew Clark Winter. Congratulations.
I now recognize Suzanne Keene, Thomas H. Broadus Professor of English and Dean of the College, who will present the candidates from the college for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. No? Never mind. I will now recognize instead Marcia France, Associate Dean of the College, who will present the candidates from the College for the degree of Bachelor of Science.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science please rise? President Ruscio, I have the honor to present for the degree of Bachelor of Science 106 candidates. They have been examined by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees. I ask you by your official act to confer upon them this degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Washington and Lee University and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science of Washington and Lee University. Congratulations. Please come forward to receive your diplomas.
Emmanuel L. Ababreze. Bipin Acharya, Honors in Computer Science, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Azhar Ali, cum laude. Syed Hidur Ali, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Caroline Kinnebrew Andrews. Victoria Marie Andrews. Haley A. Archer McClellan. Zachary Robert Arnold, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Anthony Robert Bailey II. Stephanie Kathleen Banning, Phi Beta Kappa, cum laude. Eddie Robert Barnes. Wendy Nicole Betting. James Burkert B. Miller, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Ainsley Catherine Bloomer, cum laude. Michael Vogel Bronstein, Honors in Psychology, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Hunter Andrew Brooks, cum laude. Lindsay Nicole Burns. James Francis Bush, Honors in Geology. Alessandra Brittany Catazone. Rachel Elizabeth Christensen, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Albert Anthony Civitries. Charles Crawford Cox. Christian Hines Croft. Robert Thomas Day Jr., magna cum laude. Ann Bailey Dickens. Anna Olivia Dorset. Jordan Lee Edgren. Onyebuchi Ikenta, Honors in Mathematics, cum laude. Elizabeth May Eliam. Samuel Alexander Florescu. Mary Lynn Gabe, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Tyler Peter Gabrielson. John Hodge Gainier. Annie Christian Goff, cum laude. Charles McMillan Gentry. Rachel Margaret Garisco, magna cum laude. Court B. Hammond, honors in engineering, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. John Olmsted Hillman. Mikael Kavork Harisian, cum laude. Christopher Hu, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Allison Margaret Hupalo. Darlan Jan, cum laude. Han Gil Jang, honors in computer science. Aaron Sir Hyun Jung. Alexandra Keogh Jones. Mary Teresa Camp. Patricia Ann Kirkland, cum laude. Kyung Pil Kong, honors in geology. Andrew David Lamb. Lauren A. Lane. Julia Gibson Lang. Gustavo Adolfo Laramendi III. Grace Mi-jung Lee. Noah Lawrence Lessing. Christopher James Levy, cum laude. E. Lua, cum laude. Charlotte Parker McGee. Shannon Elizabeth Marwitz, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Augusta McCauley Massey. James Charles McCullum, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Turner Oaks Meeks. Hannah Hawkinson Melkin. Bayan C. Misagi, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Scott Joseph Mokris. Garrett Harris Muckleroy. Define Alanaitwe Magayo. James Lincoln Neely. Nicholas Elliott Noble. Shannon Edana Nolet, cum laude. Alina Penkova, cum laude. Lindsay Christine Purpura, cum laude. Max Lee Quellhorst. James Bernard Quigley. Dan Joseph Kini Bantog Quijada, honors in mathematics, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Hannah Pamela Rock, cum laude. Andrew Kearney Roberts. Caitlin Rossi. Rachel Michelle Samuels, honors in geology, Phi Beta Kappa, cum laude. Eric Michael Schwen, honors in physics, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Sloan Scoville. Haley Aaron Smith, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Candace Marie Stefanik, honors in geology. Arthur Frederick Steer. Lisa Stoizer, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Catherine Clark Strickland, magna cum laude. Scott Anthony Sugden, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Jillian Lee Swanson. Brandon Elliott Taylor. Joseph Michael Taylor. Deirdre Roisin Tobin. Zachary Keith Turman, cum laude. Eric I. Utomo, in absentia. Kelsey Ann Vella. Monette Gretzel Catamio Veral, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Stephen Craig Varanian, Jr. Corey Liana Walker. Kathy Schween Wang, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Haley Michelle Ward. Mary Margaret Weatherly. Patrick Smith Wellborn, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Williams, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Mark Allen Wonders, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Tao Mi Zhang, magna cum laude. Ching Yu Shu. Alyssa Simone Zaidi, magna cum laude. Quentin Michael Zudanis. Congratulations.
And please be seated. Now I recognize Suzanne Keene, Thomas H. Broadus Professor of English and Dean of the College, who will present the candidates from the college for the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts please rise? President Ruscio, I have the honor to present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts 144 candidates. They have been examined by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees. I ask you, by your official act, to confer upon them this degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Washington Lee University and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts of Washington Lee University. Congratulations, and please come forward to receive your diplomas.
Bipin Acharya, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Sarah Tyler Anderson. Julia Ann Arena. Chauncey Lee Marie Baker, honors in English, cum laude. John McAllister Baker. William Allen Bartlett. Candace Adia Bethay, honors in mathematics. Victoria Elizabeth Blackstone, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Ainsley Catherine Bloomer, cum laude. Eleanor Caroline Bold. Jacob Porter Bowe, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Benjamin Philip Brahms. Mary Claire Bruce. Meredith Claire Campbell. Georgiana Beal Carlock, cum laude. Drew Alexandra Carlos, cum laude. Corey Michael Church. Graham Galen Colton. Stuart Castleberry Crittenden Corey, cum laude. Caitlin Michelle Coughlin. Betsy Buchanan Cribb, magna cum laude. Caroline Colville Cricklow Ball, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Blair Davis, honors in art history, cum laude. Roger Thomas Day, Jr., honors in religion, magna cum laude. Randall Brianna Dent. Anna Ridley de Benedetto. Frank Anthony Diaz. Amanda Gray Dixon, honors in history, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Suzanne Elizabeth Drennan. John Daniel Durham, cum laude. Jordan Lee Edgren. Catherine Marie Elder. Timothy Jesse Durkin Fisher, honors in history. Micah Nathaniel Fleet. Chase Patrick Flint. Madeline Ann Celso Forrestal. Mary Elizabeth France. Reagan Lee First. Jane McKinney Fugate, magna cum laude. Alexandria Nicole Garcia. Sydney Renee Gay. Brian Andrew Georgielis. Marissa Ann Gilbert. Chelsea Ruth Gilman. Leah E. Gose. Marisa Ann Gubler, cum laude. Eleanor Margaret Haig. Cornelius Joseph Haggerty. Caroline Frances Hamp. Olivia Shea Hampton. Caroline Bell Harden. Emily Kellogg Hardy. Grace Gunter Haynes. Amira Hagazi, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Sarah Ann Helms. Chelsea May Hewitt, honors in English. Anne Meredith Hoffman. Ian Patrick Hooley. Nathan Edward Hooper. John Sterling Hauser, cum laude. Blake Kenneth Huddleston. Ashley Renee Humbert, cum laude. Danielle Nicole Hurley. Christina Marie Johansson, honors in art history, cum laude. Allie Sharp Johnson. Lucas Daniel Bryson Johnson. Ryan Painter Johnson, honors in studio art, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Eleanor Armistead Jones. Edith Waringa Kumau. Kimberly Vale Kennedy, honors in history, cum laude. Colton Tyler Klein, magna cum laude. Walter Andrew Koenig III. Sarah Joanna Korash Schiff, honors in English, cum laude. Ho Yi Cynthia Lamb, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Karen Julia Lancaster, cum laude. Robert Carter Lawson. Nicholas Paul Lahotsky, honors in theater. Emily Atsuko Leventhal. Brittany Alexandra Lloyd, magna cum laude. Mary Virginia Wells Long, cum laude. Elizabeth Julia Longred. Robert Johnson Likes. Catherine Kiana Martiri. Stephen Andrew Mock. Margaret Avery McClintock. John William McIntyre III. Alexandra Page Minor. Scott Joseph Mokris. Nathaniel Delk Moore. Stephen Collins Moore. Alan Howell Morgan. John Fitzgerald Murphy Jr., Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Samantha Dawn Odell. Catherine Forrester Patton. Hannah Elizabeth Polk, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Timothy Evan Paulson, honors in history. Connor Gray Perkins, honors in religion, cum laude. Anne Laura Persons, honors in English, cum laude. Elise Fury Petraka. Catherine Ann Flager. Ellen Hope Phillips. Ignacio Javier Portela. Kelly Elizabeth Pouncey. Jack B. Powers. Jebediah Dylan Purcell. Carl Alexander Retzloff, honors in history, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Stephanie Marie Rice, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Robert Harris Riley. Naftali Daniel Rivkin, honors in English, honors in Russian area studies, magna cum laude. Nicole Ross. Taylor McCoy Rowe. Catherine Cook Rush, cum laude. Kinsey Marie Schell, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Peter Gar Schubert. Ryan McCullough Scott, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Kira Chelsea Sedbury. Sophia Sakara Maria. Craig Harris Shapiro. Lucy Wade Shapiro. Megan Marie Shearer. Sarah Edwards Shepard. Charlotte Petrie Sisk. Andrea Valentino Ciso, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude, in absentia. Chapman Stewart Sklar. Eileen Annette Small, honors in studio art, cum laude. Corey David Smith. Haley Aaron Smith, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Kathleen Crawford Smith. Lucy K. Smith, cum laude. Lawrence David Stevens III. Lisa Stoicer, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Scott Anthony Sugden, honors in English, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Dirks Sutherland. Josephine Joy Tarantini, cum laude. Catherine Nell Taylor. Kirby Faye Taylor. Taylor Marie Theodosio, honors in history. Sage Melissa Timberline. Catherine A. Toom, magna cum laude. Gabrielle Catherine Tremo. Monette Gretzel Catamillo Veral, Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude. Margaret Emma Voltsky. Catherine Cahill Willett. Joseph P. Yankelovitz, Phi Beta Kappa, cum laude. Jacqueline Olivia Yarbrough, honors in religion, cum laude. Samantha Scott Yates. Congratulations.
Please be seated. Before I bring this to a conclusion, I want the graduates to join me in one last thank you to those who made this day possible along with your faculty. Facilities management, public safety, dining services, even the registrar's office had a role to play in this. But many, many others, and throughout your 4 years here, they contributed so much to your time, so please join me in thanking all of them. And once again, I congratulate the class of 2015, and it is now my duty to bring us to our conclusion. To our graduates, let me note the obvious. In just a few short moments, your student days will be relegated to that portion of your mind reserved for memories. The letter you receive from the admissions office, check-in day, the early morning walks across the footbridge from the sorority houses to class, the final football, lacrosse, or volleyball game of your career as a general, your senior recital, Goshen Pass, fancy dress, mock convention, the staff member who cared about you during a rough patch, the faculty member who discovered within you an aptitude for art or science or philosophy and nurtured it into a passion, the friends you made who will be part of your lives forever, who will celebrate with you in the years to come, marriages, the birth of your children, and your accomplishments. Pause for one final second and contemplate the setting in which you find yourselves now, one of the most beautiful in all of higher education. Behind you is Washington Hall, named after one of the most consequential figures in history. In front of you is Lee Chapel, named after a man who shaped in so many ways the education you've experienced these last 4 years. Consider the legacy that has been handed down to you here today, manifested in such perfect architectural alignment. Forever, you will be known as a graduate of Washington and Lee University, and you should carry that distinction not only with pride, but also with responsibility and a sense of honor. Come back frequently, and know that while the geographic relationship between you and the university will change, the bonds of friendship with the people you have come to know will endure and grow even stronger. Think of us often, just as we will think of you. We wish you well, Godspeed, good luck, and congratulations. We are adjourned.